Honestly, what do you do at 2 o'clock in the morning and you just can't sleep? Obviously, you make some booktube videos. June wrap up coming right up. Stay tuned. Alright, June 30th. Let's talk about what did I read in the month of June here on Drew's Book Reviews. Before we get into my June reading recap, why don't you go ahead and hit that like button, comment, subscribe, check out the links down below. Of course, there will be Patreon, Bookstagram, Discord, all linked below, so be sure to go and check that out. So let's talk about it. So June, I didn't quite get through my entire to be read for the month of June, but that's okay. Sometimes that simply doesn't happen. But let's talk about what I did finish in the month of June for this month. So first off, let's talk a little bit about where did I set my reading goal for the year. I'd set my goal at 75 books. I've completed a total of 38 reads so far this year, so I'm about halfway through, which is good. This is a great thing because it is, halfway through the year. So I'm about halfway through my to be read goals for the year of 2022, and I think that's great that I'm right on track to hit that 75 books for the year. So that is really awesome. Now let's talk a little bit about what have I read here in the month of June. So of course this is not in any particular order. It is not my favorite to least favorite or anything like that, or even the order I read the books in. Just what did I read in June. So these first two books, technically I didn't start them in June, I started them in May, but finished them in June. So the first one was Toll the Hounds by Steven Erikson from Malazan, Book of the Fallen. So book 7 in Malazan, Book of the Fallen, Toll the Hounds. So again, another really long 1280 page book. Malazan, I need a break from Malazan. I think I'm going to put the last two on hold for a little bit before I get to them, because I just feel like I really need a break from Malazan, Book of the Fallen. I've been powering through this series, trying to get through it. It was good. I definitely enjoyed this one. I'm not really sure what to say about it, to be honest, but anyway, Toll the Hounds by Steven Erikson. I finished this one up in the month of June. The other one that I started in May but finished in June was Brent Week's The Black Prism. This is actually what I'm doing a reread on through the graphic audio and rereading along with that, and I'm having a really good time doing that. I am absolutely loving the graphic audio version of these books as much as I loved the first time around. In fact, I think I'm enjoying it even more the second time around through the graphic audio, which is just a really cool thing. So I'm really enjoying this. Brent Week's The Black Prism. So this is a really good one that I am certainly enjoying. The whole Lightbringer series as a whole is just awesome. If you haven't read it, stay tuned. I am going to be doing a full series review once I'm complete my reread of the series. So I'm looking forward to that. Stay tuned for that. Hopefully I'll get that full series review out in the next couple of months. So next up on books that I completed reading this month is Terry Pratchett's The Truth. This is from, of course, Discworld, which is absolutely hilarious. I am actually considering doing a full review on this book, so stay tuned for that. The Truth is just a hilarious book about the beginnings of the printing press and news media in Ankh-Morpork and Discworld in general. And it is absolutely hilarious. There is so much commentary in this book, everything from news media and their obligation to the truth, to the tabloid style fake news that comes out, through the tabloid sensationalism that we see in some news media reports as well. But in addition to that, there's just some great contrast between the rich and the poor, and what should be news and what shouldn't be news, and it's just a good book. It's just like all Discworld books are. It is absolutely hilarious. It is fantastic. There's some fantastic commentary, social, political commentary in these books, just as there are with every Discworld, and I'm absolutely loving it. So The Truth by Terry Pratchett, another one that I finished this month, and I've still got lots more Discworld to come, so I'm really happy to be reading the Discworld series with one new Discworld book each and every month. This is just great. You should definitely check it out if you have not already. My non-fiction read for the month of June was Steven Pinker's Enlightenment Now. Stay tuned, there is a review coming up on this book on the channel, so make sure that you do stay tuned. In fact, this was the viewer's choice book review for this month. It was actually tied with H.P. Lovecraft, but I already put out my H.P. Lovecraft review, so check that out on the channel. But this one will be coming out in the month of July. You'll see my review on this, so make sure that you do stay tuned for that. Steven Pinker's Enlightenment Now. The gist of this one is essentially the world isn't as bad as we may believe it to be based on what we see in the news media and all that good stuff. So definitely check it out. My review on Steven Pinker's Enlightenment Now is coming. It really was a refreshing read from a very positive, focused view of the state of how things are in the world. So next up on books that I read in June, I read Lisa King's Blue Haven. Lisa King was kind enough to send me a copy of her book to read and review, and I'm really glad that she did because I absolutely love this psychological thriller. And stay tuned because there is going to be a review on this one coming up on the channel in July as well, so stay tuned for that. This was just a fantastic read, psychological thriller. Paradise isn't for everyone, and that is absolutely true, especially with Blue Haven. Just such a good read. It was just fantastic. Stay tuned for that. This is essentially the concept behind this book, is that there's this tropical paradise resort place that you can go to and you can enjoy a better life, but everything is not what it seems to be. And it just really is a fantastic psychological thriller, so stay tuned for that. 5 stars for me. Absolutely love this book, and definitely I'd encourage you to check it out and check out the review once I do post that in July. And then of course, in the month of June, as always, we are reading some H.P. Lovecraft each and every month. This month's reads were Cool Air and The Call of Cthulhu. If you haven't checked out my review on The Call of Cthulhu, make sure that you do that. I'll try to link that in the cards in the description below as well. But H.P. Lovecraft, Cool Air, and Call of Cthulhu, those are my H.P. Lovecraft reads for this month, and I really love that. Call of Cthulhu was actually one of the ones that I'd most been looking forward to reading from this collection of H.P. Lovecraft's Tales of Horror. I'm really glad I got to that, and I really like that story. So definitely go check out my review of Call of Cthulhu. You should be able to find my review of Call of Cthulhu on the H.P. Lovecraft playlist I have here on the channel. Again, I'll try to make sure that's linked in the cards, so check that out. H.P. Lovecraft. Read a couple more of his stories, and of course you could bet I'm going to be reading a few more H.P. Lovecraft stories come the month of July as well. So that brings us to, what am I currently working on? What am I reading right now? So of course, to finish up the month of June, as of the day of filming, I am reading Brandon Sanderson's Edge Dancers. So this is one of his novellas from the Stormlight Archive. And of course, I've got to read everything Cosmere because I am just a huge Brandon Sanderson nut. Love his writing, love the Cosmere, love everything about it. This is from the Stormlight Archive. I'm pretty sure I've actually read this before through the Arcanum Unbounded collection of short stories, but I do have it in physical copy now, so I am absolutely going to be finishing this one up pretty quickly here, if not by the time this video posts. So Edge Dancer by Brandon Sanderson, definitely loving this one. I'm loving all of them. I love anything Sanderson at this point, virtually anything. White Sand was okay, not the greatest, but a lot of people warned me it wasn't his best Cosmere anyway. But anyway, Brandon Sanderson, Edge Dancer, that's one that I'm working on to wrap up the month of June reads. The other one that I am working on just to wrap up the month of June, probably carrying to the first little bit of July, but The Blinding Knife. This is book 2 of the Lightbringer series by Brent Weeks. So book 2 of my reread of this series for Lightbringer. The whole concept behind this series is light turned into solid physical objects through a magic process called drafting. That is the magic system within this book, and I just love how the whole world is set up through the division of these 7 primary colors through the light spectrum, and it really is an entertaining and enjoying read. I would definitely recommend checking it out. I mean, it is just such a good book, good series. Graphic audio on this is just amazing and awesome as well, and I'm really enjoying doing the graphic audio along with my reading of the Lightbringer series, so definitely worth checking out, so be sure to check that out. And then the other one, of course, I am still working on, The Two Towers. I've been working on this one for a while. This is the book series that I'm currently reading to my daughter. I was absolutely loving reading this series and hearing this story. She absolutely loves it. So I'm working on The Two Towers going into July. I'm hoping to finish in July. We're typically only reading about 5 pages or so per day, but it's so worth it to be able to read this. It's the series that I was going to reread anyway, so when my daughter said she wanted to hear the story, I've jumped right into that, you bet. Especially since this is a classic amongst fantasy literature with J.R.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings trilogy. So there you have it. There is my June wrap up. That is what I read in the month of June. So let me know down in the comments below. Have you read any of these books? Do any of these books seem like they may be interesting to you, that you might think that you might enjoy? So definitely let me know in the comments down below. What did you read in June? How are you doing on your reading goals this year? I'd love to hear from you. You could either join me on my Discord, which will be linked below, or comment down below, or both even. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And as always, until next time, keep on reading. Bye.